Hey y'all, welcome to the channel, or welcome back to the channel. Bunkle here. Hope you've been having a great day. Today is absolutely a great day by me. Definitely not the summer heat much here in New Jersey anymore. But I will be getting on the road soon too, so there could be some summer heat wherever I end up. Just wanted to do a quick pack opening with y'all today. Well, kind of quick, and maybe not today for you if you see in multiple of the videos of packs that I'm opening, but today is, or this video I should say, is 1990 Premier Edition Fleer Football. Now, football's not exactly the sport I followed most. I would say I was much more of a baseball fan than a football fan. Of course, everybody pays attention somewhat to football. It's a game I always enjoyed playing more than watching, that's for sure. However, within this this set, there's a bunch of cards that could be really good. There's a lot of Hall of Famers. We could find Randall Cunningham, Bo Jackson. There's a couple error cards, in particular Joe Montana error, where basically they're switching up yards and touchdowns. 216 touchdowns versus 31,054 touchdowns, which is a whole heck of a lot. Hall of Famers that we might find in here: John Elway, Jerry Rice, LT, Jim Kelly, Warren Moon, Art Monk, Joe Montana, of course, Troy Aikman and his constant concussions, and Michael Irvin, amongst others. I personally like to find the Neon Dion. He's one of my favorite players, baseball, football, whatever. Just a lot of flash, but he got stuff done. I don't think it's ever a bad thing to have a bit of flash as long as you're getting it done, and he definitely did. Anyway, let's get opening. I got my handy-dandy cutter here. Now, these cards remind me, or these packs kind of remind me of what Score did with the garbage bag wrappers. That didn't exactly protect the cards all that well. So finding a PSA 10 in these might be a bit tough, but you never know. Let's hope that they're not too banged up. I was happy to get these at a real good price at an auction online. So to me, it's just more so the fun of opening them and seeing what might be inside. Let me adjust the video here also, because I think it's a little bit too big. All right, first pack. Starting off with Martin Bayless, Jack Trudeau, quarterback, Gary Hogeboom, Roland James, Bob Gagliano, Bill Bates, Eric McMillan, Travis McNeil, Tony Casillas, Gary Zimmerman, Doug Riesenberger, Derek Hill, Andre Ware. That's the best rookie that you're going to find in this set. NFL Draft Choice rookie. Nice. That's what the back of his card looks like. Let me get him in a wrapper right away. Now, he does this card does look a bit off center, top to bottom. As everybody I'm sure knows, centering and collation was not exactly any of the card company's best feat during these years. Definitely junk wax, baseball, football. Good chance that you'll find duplicates of the same card in the pack, or things way, way, way off center. Not as bad as the 70s. I've seen some cards from the 70s that were cut seriously in half, where you have half of one card and half of another on the same card. Some really interesting ones. And cards are a bit different than coins. Coins, of course, if there's an error or something like that, it could be worth tons of money. Cards, they seem to treat differently, or at least the grading companies do. I know that all the grading companies are a bit harsh on miscuts. Things are not perfectly centered and all of that. Starting off with John Settle, Rick Carlos, Bart Oates, Greg Lloyd, Matt Bear, Michael Carter, Jim Leahy, Tim Crumpy, Johnny Hector, Anthony Bell, Randy Grimes, Kelly Stouffer, Jim Arnold, Vesty Jackson, and Robert Massey. So more or less nothing at all in this set. This is what the backs look like on these. Back of a typical card, you got the player picture there, his vitals, some of his statistics. That might be his full statistics. He might be a younger player. We take a look at a different card. John Settle, it has more years of his career in there. And then a little bit of a blurb about who the player is. So we can keep it moving now. Pack number 2 is basically a complete dud. Let's see what pack number 3 might hold. Yeah, these trash bag packs definitely left something to be desired as far as opening. On the pack, it says, order your official 1990 Flair football collector's pin on this one. For $4.99, you can get a Flair football pin. I don't know how many people went for those. I don't think I would have. Kid, teenager, or any time, really. All right, we're starting off with Hassan Jones, Hugh Green, Mervyn Fernandez, Pepper Johnson. Great name there, Pepper. John Renstra, Leroy Irvin, Jim Kelly, Hall of Fame quarterback there. Nice keeper card. Keep that one right there for right now. Webster Slaughter, Albert Lewis, Roger Craig, Warren Moon, another Hall of Fame quarterback. Sweet. Got 2. Got Ricky Sanders, James Brooks, Steve Sewell, and lastly, Tim Spencer. Now let's get these 2 wrapped up nice. Yeah, the centering is definitely off top to bottom there as well, just like the Andre Ware. But Jim Kelly's a bit closer to being on center top to bottom, but left to right looks a little bit weird there. Still a great card to pull. Probably would not get a 10. Although I will say the corners look really sharp on these, so that's a great thing. Let me put that one up over there. And keep it moving. Got our next pack going here. Yep, and this is still the Flair Football Collector's Pin. I mean, they could have at least done a Flair Football Collector's Pin, one per team or something like that. I mean, who knows what the licensing was for these. But just getting one pin, I don't know if any collector would really have gone for that. I mean, people would usually want to collect something about their team, not necessarily about Flair football. So starting off with Chris Carter, Ray Berry, Dan Marino, nice. That's a nice one. Seemed to be a lot of quarterbacks here. Definitely quarterback heavy. Keep that one there for right now. Steve Berlin, Mark Bavaro, Keith Willis, Tom Newberry, Pete Metzklars, Frank Minfield, Bill Moss, no relation to Kevin Moss, I hope, Ronnie Lott, Dean Stenkuler, Mark Rippon, Ricky Dixon, and Simon Fletcher. Now the Mark Rippon has some value to it, so I'm going to be keeping that on the side. I know that's one of the cards on the list that if you find one in PSA 9 or 10, you could definitely make some change on that. And it's always good if you could find something that's valuable enough to flip, even for a few bucks. Helps pay for the packs, pay for the hobby, that's for sure. And sometimes you can work out a trade with somebody, and I tend to do that from time to time. Baseball or football, especially if there's a particular card or cards that I pull. So that's always a good thing. So it looks like definitely lining up a whole bunch of quarterbacks here. Get the next one going here. All right, next one. We got Mike Lansford, Shane Conlon, Chet Brooks, Steve Brown, Bobby Humphrey. Well, that's pretty interesting. I'm thinking that's two different Bobby Humphreys. I mean, it would be pretty interesting playing for two different teams. Although the names are spelled differently. One is Humphrey, the other one is Humphrey. Interesting, though. Valskama, Donald Iguabuke, Jacob Green. All right, we got our first All-Pro card, Anthony Munoz. Now, the All-Pro cards, of course, was an insert set that went along with the regular cards. A lot of the packs from then, just like now, had inserts. Benny Blaines, Keith Van Horn, Craig Hayward, Robert Brown, and Scott Fulhag. This one I'll just keep on the side right there. Yeah, these are really dumb to open. You can't be careful enough opening these because with these garbage bag wrappers, they definitely can ding things up pretty badly. Okay, Clay Matthews. Nice start there. Walker Lee Ashley, Kevin Fagan, John Grimsley, Darryl Green, Lee Johnson, Steve Atwater, okay, we got Martin Bayless, Jack Trudeau, Gary Hogeboom again, Roland James, Bob Gagliano, Bill Bates, Eric McMillan, and Travis McNeil. Let's hit the next one. Let's see if I can do that without the knife. Might be better. Yep, got it. Very cool. Now, thankfully, there's no gum or no wax in these wrappers. That's a good thing, because that would definitely damage whatever card was attached to the gum, or whatever card was attached to the back of the wax, of course. Okay, we start with Mike Tomczak, Bobby Hebert, Blair Bush, Sean Collins, Keith Jackson, Hassan Jones, Hugh Green, Mervyn Fernandez, another Pepper Johnson, John Reenstra, Leroy Irvin, Jim Kelly. Got another Hall of Famer there. That's great. We'll get that in a wrapper in a second. Webster Slaughter, Albert Lewis, and Roger Craig. Definitely got the quarterback lineup going on right now. Keep the Kellys together. Next pack here. Rory Green starting off, Lars Tate, Norm Johnson, and we got another of the All-Pro cards. We got Tim Harris, linebacker from the Packers. Keep that one over there. Chris Spellman, Richard Dent, Eric Martin, Mark Murphy, Ron Heller, another Ron Heller, but it is funny how this is all just lining up. I mean, those are spelled exactly the same. Wade Wilson, E.J. Jr., Steve Smith, Dave Meggett, and Thomas Everett. Get our next one going here. So far it seems to be quarterback day, quarterback packs. If you're watching this, quarterback Sunday, on a Sunday, if you're watching it on a Sunday, Jacob Green. All right, we got a Steve Atwater All-Pro card. Benny Blades, Keith Van Horn, Craig Hayward, Robert Brown, Scott Fulhage, Chris Carter, Ray Berry, Dan Marino. There we go. Another one of him. It's never a bad thing to get multiples of Hall of Famers, that's for sure. Steve Berlin, Mark Bavaro, Keith Willis, Tom Newberry, and Pete Metzglers. Let's get the Marino card wrapped up here. Continue with the quarterback lineup. All right, we got Steve Folsom, Vance Johnson, Al Toon, wide receiver from the Jets, Rich Camarillo, Ron Hall, James Jefferson, and another All-Pro card. Lomas Brown, Kevin Butler, Jim Wilkes, Chris Jack, Neon Dion, sweet card there. Keep that right over there. And the centering on that one actually looks really clean, although the border, the edge, looks really funky. If you see there's some side damage to that. Appears to be side damage. Clyde Simmons, Kurt Loudermilk, and Jeff Dellenbach. Get the Neon Dion wrapped up anyway. Now, he didn't make his transition to multiple sports as good as Bo did, of course. But definitely all-star, all-pro, all-everything. All right, next pack here. Now, this set, if I'm not mistaken, only had 440 cards. So it was kind of a lighter set than a lot of others. Mostly because there was only one card or a couple cards if there was a special for each player. Leon White, Michael Brooks, and some flipping there. Marion Butts. The Butts was upside down. And the ball, Michael Ball. No jokes. Ron Stallworth, Fred Marion, Chris Barr, Nate Newton, Brian Noble, and we got our first checklist. Now, the checklists are broken up by teams, and the numbering is by team also. If you take a look there, you'll see the Redskins followed numerical sequence. So did the Packers, so did the Chiefs. And this is card 399. So like many other sports sets from this time, the checklists or sometimes special cards. Baseball didn't follow the same trend, but football definitely did. Was where your last cards in the set numerically were at the end, and they were the checklists. Got Kenneth Sims, Mark Logan, Marcus Allen, nice card there, and Tim Worley. Okay, moving on to the next. Looks like we're about halfway through these. Thanks for joining on this video. I definitely appreciate it. Make sure you comment, subscribe, give a thumbs up if you like what you see. Leslie O'Neill, Dwayne Bickett, Ricky Reynolds, Steve Grogan, Neil Anderson, Jim Jeffcoat, Morton Anderson, Otis Anderson, Jerome Brown, Bill Brooks, Mike Harden, Vince Newsom, Scott Radisick, Charles Haley, and Alonzo Highsmith. So pretty much a dud pack there. Also, if I miss anything good as I was going through these, make sure you let me know in the comments. Again, football's not totally my wheelhouse, but still fun opening packs, fun opening cards, seeing the throwbacks, that's definite. Oddly enough, I was a Pittsburgh Steelers fan growing up, despite the Jets and Giants as my hometown teams. Nice, Herschel Walker. That's a great card. Happy to find that. Ferrell Edmonds, Don Mosbar, LT. Hall of Famer there. Another nice card. Mike Mularkey, Greg Bell, Cornelius Bennett, Mike Johnson, Kevin Porter, Jerry Rice. All right, so now we're getting away from the quarterbacks. Mike Munchak, Ralph, yeah, okay, long last name, Leon White, Michael Brooks, and Marion Butts. Let's get those three wrapped up. Jerry Rice is a nice find. So we're getting away from the quarterbacks now, it looks like. Pardon for a second, I have to get more wrappers out. These packs definitely had more than I thought they would. LT getting wrapped. And get the Herschel Walker wrapped. Now Herschel's also got himself into politics lately. Let's see how that goes. Next pack. Starting with Keith Jackson, Hassan Jones, Hugh Green, Mervyn Fernandez, Pepper Johnson, John Reenstra, Leroy Irvin, Jim Kelly, got another Kelly, Webster Slaughter, Albert Lewis, Roger Craig, Warren Moon, got another one there. Getting back to the quarterbacks, Ricky Sanders, James Brooks, and Steve Sewell. Getting really lined up with the Hall of Fame and great quarterbacks of that time, that's for sure. Several of the Jim Kellys, that's great. All right, next one. Start with Norm Johnson. And the All-Pro card of Tim Harris. Chris Spellman, Richard Dent, Eric Martin, Mark Murphy, Ron Heller. And again, these are just lining up really weird. Ron Heller and Ron Heller, two different people, but same pack, back-to-back. Wade Wilson, E.J. Jr., Steve Smith, Dave Meggett, Thomas Everett, Buford McGee, and Larry Kinnebrew. Feels like that pack was a multiple of another pack previously. A lot of cards duplicated there. All right, next pack getting opened here. Starting off with Jeff Dellenbach. Got the bow, and that looks really nicely centered. Maybe a touch off, smidge off left to right, but top to bottom on that is really nice. Lionel Manuel, Lewis Lips, Jim Everett, Andre Reed, wide receiver there, Eric Metcalf, Leonard Griffin, Joe Montana. That's definitely a card to pull. Now, is this the error card or the regular card? Let's see, it's showing yards as 31,000 and touchdowns as it should be. So this is the regular card, not the error. Either way, really nice pull there. Got Mike Rozier, Charles Mann, Lewis Blips, Orson Mobley, and some flipping going on there, Arthur Cox and Harvey Armstrong. Let's get those two wrapped up. Of course, another quarterback. But you're not going to complain if you pop in packs of football and you're pulling Marinos and Montanas, that's for sure. And there goes a bow. Corners look sharp on that as well. Centering looks great. Definitely a keeper. I'll take it under the scope later to see if it's a grader, but it's definitely at least a keeper. All right, this one, that's what I meant by the garbage bag packs. You never knew what kind of creasing or wrinkling or anything else that could go on. All right, we start off with Mike Harden, Vince Newsom, Scott Radisick, Charles Haley, Alonzo Highsmith. Seems like another duplicate pack here. Greg Cragen, Troy Benson, Roy Green, Lars Tate, Norm Johnson, and another Andre Reed All-Pro card. Keep that in the All-Pro stack. Chris Spielman, Richard Dent, Eric Martin, and Mark Murphy wrapping that up. All right, we got 3 to go here. Countdown. Bobby Brister, quarterback. Not exactly the best quarterback the Steelers ever had. Pete Holden, Mark Kelso, Tim Manoa, Christian Okoye, Pierce Holt, Ernest Givens, Mark May, Boomer Esiason. Another quarterback card, quarterback great. Not quite Hall of Fame, if I'm not mistaken, but definitely was a great player. Billy Ray Smith, Pat Beach, Vinny Testaverde. Pretty much the same. Coulda, woulda, might have been a Hall of Fame, didn't exactly make it that far. Bruce Armstrong and Jim Harbaugh. All right, we're down to 2. Now I'm going to go through these cards a bit later also, just to make sure that there's none I may have missed. I may have missed 1 or 2. Let me know in the comments if you saw anything that I didn't. Starting with Henry Ellard, Scott Norwood, Thane Gash, Nick Lowery, Mike Kofer, Bruce Matthews, Darrell Grant, Icky Woods, great name, Icky, John Elway, another great quarterback, absolute Hall of Famer there. Keep that right there for right now. Leslie O'Neal, Dwayne Bickett, Ricky Reynolds, Steve Grogan, Neil Anderson, and Jim Jeffcoat. All right, let's get the Elway wrapped. So I could be wrong, but I think I got just about every major, if not every major quarterback from that time period in these packs. Definitely great. I hate to line one up in front of another, but space limitations here. There's a lot of great cards that got pulled here, I think. This was a fun one. I think they're all fun, even if you just pull absolute junk. That could even be fun. Got Mark Collins, Kevin Green, Jim Richter, Steve Young, quarterback. Another great quarterback from that time. Looking really ancient there. Although he was relatively new, only 5 years in. Looks like he definitely got beat up a bit. Ray Childress, Tyrone Braxton, Tony Eason, Lewis Sharp, Paul Gruber, Brian Blades, Morton Anderson, the place kicker from the Saints, All-Pro card, Eric Williams, Ron Morris, John Fourcade, and Perry Kemp. So that wraps us up. All in all, a really fun opening, that's for sure. Got a bunch of All-Pros and a whole lineup of great cards, quarterbacks, as well as the Bo and the Herschel. Well, if you enjoyed this, I really hope you did. I had fun doing it. Just make sure you give a thumbs up, subscribe, comment, all of that stuff, and I'll see you again soon. Bunkle out. Stay blessed.